What's up, y'all? I'm Sorik. This is Sorik Kazimi, and today I bring you a very special little reading for the Mercury Cazimi in Taurus. I'm filming this with Gemini rising, ruled by the Mercury Cazimi in the 12th house, and therefore the theme of today's reading will be: what is hidden from you that is soon to be revealed? Because Mercury is currently, Cazimi means that it is passing through the exact same part of the sky as the sun. And so visually what that means is that Mercury becomes invisible as it gets within a certain range of the sun, and then it crosses over paths, and then as it goes past the sun, it slowly becomes visible again. So symbolically, this is a process in which something about the things that Mercury represents in our life are going through a cycle of being hidden, being in the underworld, behind the scenes, clarified, purified by fire, burned up, and having their essential nature extracted. And then they take this extracted essential nature and they move forth and have that knowledge be revealed. So today I have for you 3 piles. I'm using one of my very favorite little decks that I've never featured on here before. It is called the Druid Animal Oracle deck, which I thrifted. And for pile selection, though, I have chosen 3 perfumes out of my collection. This is from a company called État Libre d'Orange. Sorry, that's French. I'm not pronouncing it very well, I know. État Libre d'Orange, which means free state of orange. And I got one of their 20 perfume sample packs a couple of years ago, and because I wear perfume so infrequently, I still have all of them quite full. But I thought it would be fun to sort of, I did like a thing where I don't know what order they're in, but I did like an eyes closed, like divination pick for each of the cards. And then we're gonna also take the perfume as a message. So we're gonna start with, this is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. So pile 1, your scent is eau de protection. There we go. Eau de protection. Pile 2, your scent is gonna be fille de dé. And pile 3, yours will be attaquer le soleil. Should I translate these? This means like water of protection for pile 1. Pile 2 means like child of God or children of God, I think. And then pile 3, yours is attack the sun. So go ahead, take a deep breath, center yourselves, pick 1 or more piles, whatever calls to you, and then I will have timestamps in the description below to meet me for your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the eau de protection, the water of protection, then this is going to be your reading. I'm going to start by reading out what their little description is in the guidebook that I have. And luckily, as you can see, my past self has kindly gone and taken notes about the scent, like the scent notes of each perfume, which bless me for that, you know? Really saving myself some work from later. Okay. Oh, look at that. So Eau de Protection is in the Floral Fatale section, and it's one of their top picks. Look at that. Maybe you're a top pick, pile one. Okay. Eau de Protection. Floral, spicy, fresh. A perfume of protection. A refuge on the battlefield of love. A breathtaking rose, protected by its thorny stem, is met by a breathtaking rose, protected by its thorny stem, is met by a sharp, cold, and metallic prick of blood, with pepper and geranium, and prevailed by strikingly dark patchouli. Notes: black pepper, ginger, Bulgarian rose, bergamot, jasmine, benzoin from Laos, patchouli, incense, and cocoa. That's so fascinating, because I might as well actually reveal your oracle deck too, or your oracle card too, because you got Adder. And so it's so fascinating that this one is about protection, and then you've got this Adder card that has 2 snakes on it. Let me also just read you the description of the Adder card a little bit from this book, and then I will start getting messages. I love this deck, truly, but the guidebook, it's not alphabetical, and there's no, like, order that these go in, so I have to flip through wildly every time. Okay, anyway. Adder. Also known in, is this in Celtic? Yes. So the Celtic way is Nahir. You can see it's spelled like this. Also, let me just hold this up, and then if you want to screenshot or pause and read it, you can. But I will just read. Adder, Nahir. Keywords: transformation, healing, life energy. Nahir offers healing and transformation. Its ability to glide into the darkness through crevices in the rocks connects it to the under or other world and the realm of death. It is the totem animal of the earth goddess and also the Skyfather sun god, and represents our ability to die and be reborn. The energy that enables us to be born on earth is sexual energy, but this also necessitates our death. Befriending Adder or snake power will enable you to journey through life gracefully and magically, shedding your old life easily when the time comes, whether that old life be of the physical body or a stage in this present incarnation. On the flip side, reverse meaning, the Adder urges you to abandon the ability to wound and replace it with the power to heal. Although the snake is poisonous and has been used in the Christian tradition as a symbol of evil, in the Druid and other traditions it represents healing and the power of transformation. The snake, as totem animal, urges us to use our powers of energy, penetration, swift and silent movement, not to harm others but to help and heal them. We can learn to love and channel the serpent currents that flow through our body and the body of the earth, so that they become beneficent, healing, life-giving currents that ultimately flow, like the meandering snake rivers of the plains, to the wide sea. Interesting. Okay. I'm actually going to also pull you a tarot card and a moonology card, and then I will start delivering the messages. Today's tarot deck that I'm using is the Sigil Arcanum deck. An extremely cool deck that I got from like a Kickstarter type vibe. It's very symbols, and so I felt that was appropriate for Le Cazimi. And wouldn't you know it, you got the Mercury card for this Cazimi, the Magician. And then let's get a Moonology card as well. And then I will start delivering whatever messages I receive. Ha! Full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so what is hidden that will soon be revealed to you? The vibe that I'm getting here is the thing that is hidden that is being revealed to you is your own personal magical power. And especially your power to transform your life. Your power to take dark things that have happened to you and metabolize them, rebirth yourself into a new way of being. This may be a situation where you might have been dealing with some disappointment recently, perhaps a little heartbreak with the eau de protection, because it's talking about like a rose, but it's like kind of like a dark rose vibe, and there's also like the mention of thorns in the description. So getting the feeling that maybe you have suffered some sort of setback or disappointment to your plans or what you thought was going to happen in some area of your life. But what is going to be revealed to you through this setback, through this difficulty that you have recently had to face, is your own power to take the pain that you have been given, to sit with it, to digest it, and to decide to become someone new in light of the experiences that you have had. Maybe you had some sort of plan fall through. Maybe it's because this thing that you wanted to create or make happen, or whatever it is, maybe it was not built on a solid foundation. Because with full moon in Taurus, your dreams need a practical plan. This is indicating to me that something about this situation was not built on solid ground. And it's very funny because, like I said, the Mercury Cazimi is happening in Taurus, and this is, yeah. But full moon in Taurus, this happens during Scorpio season, so November-ish, like late October to like the first 3 weeks-ish of November could be a significant time frame for you. Maybe something happened this past November, or something is going to happen this coming November. So, things to watch out for. With the Magician here, the vibe that I'm getting is that you have the skills required. You have the raw materials required to recover from this setback. Maybe you have the ability to have a conversation about the situation that can reveal and clarify what went wrong. The Magician has all of the other suits here with it. And in this deck, it also has like a sickle in their hand, which represents Ceres, asteroid Ceres, who I believe actually is involved either in this Cazimi or in this upcoming lunation that's about to happen. Ooh, okay, so this might be... Sorry, beeping outside. Let me just pause for it. Maybe this is confirmation for what I'm about to say, but I was gonna say, maybe this has to do with nurturing, with something that you have been trying to nurture into existence, something that you feel like a caretaking sort of feeling towards, something that you feel responsible for stewarding, something that you feel responsible for like managing into creation. The vibe that I'm getting is that this thing that you are trying to steward is not going to be able to exist in the form that you thought it was going to exist in. Straight up. And part of that, because the Adder card, if you can see, has 2 snakes on it intertwined together, not just one. And they also have this interesting, like, stone pillar in the background that has a snake carved into it. It is also, I must say, vaguely phallic. So perhaps that's relevant. Maybe that's relevant for you in some way. But the intertwininess of this Adder card, because even in the guidebook, it talks about how erotic energy is a life-giving force, but when you give something life, that also necessarily requires that it will die at some point. And so it feels to me like there is something that existed that reached its natural end point. And rather than trying to hold on to what was, rather than trying to protect what is already built, it may be better to metabolize this grief, this heartbreak, this disappointment, this setback, and instead form it into something new. Because, yeah, the Adder, it's about change, transformation, and the the Magician is the first card. It's the number 1 card, not the first. The Fool is card 0, but the Magician is the first numbered card in the deck. And so it really is giving me the sense that something new needs to happen in this situation, and it needs to be built on a more solid foundation. Maybe this thing needs to be built more slowly. Perhaps you tried to build it up too fast, or like you tried to like make this happen too soon, and so it didn't work. Instead, you got pricked by the thorns. Like, you try and grab a rose without being careful, and you might prick your finger on the thorns. But if you're careful, if you're gentle, what you'll notice is, I don't know if y'all have ever like actually held like a rose like that has its thorns on it, but if you gently like just kind of add pressure to the thorns, you can snap the thorns right off. So I think with full moon in Taurus, the energy I'm getting here is that the thing you want to create is possible, but it's going to have to take a form that you were not originally anticipating. It's going to need to mutate. It's going to need maybe some collaboration with someone else in a way that you weren't doing before, or maybe like you didn't quite successfully do. Maybe it was even miscommunication between you and another person that led to this setback or heartbreak or disappointment. But I'm getting the energy that if you build this slowly, carefully, and with gentle pressure, you will be more equipped to successfully enact your vision of the thing that you really want to make real. You have the tools to do it. You just need to go a little bit slower and use more of those tools and skills that you have learned. Okay. I think that's all the message that I have for y'all today. Okay, thank you so much, Pile 1. I hope that reading was helpful and or clarifying to you, and wishing you much luck on whatever it is that you're trying to make happen. So, yes, if you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel if you want to see future ones. Share this with a friend if you have a friend who's into tarot videos also. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Hopefully see you next time. Bye. Howdy, Pile 2. If you chose the Fille de Dieu or Children of God scent, then this is going to be your pile. I'm going to start off. Oh, I might as well also, let me also just reveal your oracle card. Your Druid oracle card is Wren. So I'm going to read you the descriptions from both of these guidebooks, and then I'll pull one tarot card and one Moonology oracle card, and then I will give you your messages. So, first of all, for the perfume, thank heavens I have written all of these descriptions about the scent notes beforehand. Thank you to my past self for that. Makes it real easy for myself. Okay, here we go. So Fille de Dieu is under the golden citrus section here, as you can see. Fille de Dieu, citrus, fresh, powdery, an escape from conformity, the willingness to exchange roles, the Son of God. Okay, so Son of God, not Children of God. A cheeky, powdery twist on a fresh and citrusy tropical fragrance that is inspired by the ingredients and the humility of the Far East. That feels a little Orientalist. I'm not a fan of that. But the scent notes: lime, rice, ginger, coriander leaves, coconut. I don't know what that says. Bergamot, vetiver, castoreum, musk, amber, and leather. Okay, and then, oh yeah, and then I was going to read Wren from the guidebook. Druyen. Okay, so here's the Wren page in the guidebook. I will hold it there for a second so you can pause or screenshot if you'd like. All right, Wren, which in Celtic is Druyen. Keywords: humility, cunning, and God. Oh, We got son of God, and we've got this that means God. So, yeah, okay, there's themes. The themes are theming. Druyen allows us to glimpse the beauty of God or goddess in all things. He tells us that small is beautiful and that self-realization lies not in grandiosity or apparent power, but in humility, gentleness, and subtlety. Cunning, if tempered with humor and good intent, is a way of achieving great things with an economy of effort and a rational and honest use of the achievements of others. Ooh, okay. Reverse meaning. This could indicate that you need to look at whether your humility and gentleness actually render you invisible to others. Are they your way of defending yourself from life and from others, rather than facing life and its difficulties? Perhaps you also need to look at how you use your cunning, your native wit. It is easy for the habit of building on the work of others to become a dishonest exploitation of others' achievements, just as it's easy for cunning to become malign rather than benign. Remember that the story of the wren and the eagle can also be interpreted in a way that sees the wren as a cheeky and dishonest upstart who naively believes that he can fool others and win status for himself through his ruse. Cleverness and building on the work of others require wisdom and honest skill if they are to be of value. Ooh, okay. I like this. Okay, but this is nuts because this thing also mentions God and the word humility, and literally humility and God are two of the key words. So that's wild. This is truly a Mercury Cazimi happening. Okay. Let me just pull the tarot card and the moonology card, and then I'll figure out what message this is here to deliver. For tarot today, we're using the Sigil Arcanum, which is a really cool deck that I got from a Kickstarter campaign type thing. And it's like made up of like the symbols of whatever planet and sign are in the decan of that tarot card, or of like the elemental symbols for the court cards, and the major arcana have the planet symbols and the zodiac symbols, and it's just, I love glyphs and symbols, so I thought this was really cool for Mercury Cazimi. Ooh, okay. So we have the devil. We've got God and the devil. Beautiful. Oh, this is delicious. I don't know what's going on with y'all, but I can't wait to get into it. Okay, and you got South Node. Don't let your past hold you back. Okay, pile 2. Where do I even begin to get into it? Have y'all been fighting inner demons? Because this is really giving like a deep cosmic level internal struggle. With the South Node, don't let your past hold you back. The South Node is one of the eclipse points in astrology. If you can see this symbol, you can see like these thin lines that are crossing over to each other, and then like the crossover point. So this is representing the orbit that, this is the path that the sun appears to move through the sky, and this is the path that the moon appears to move through the sky. And they cross over at 2 points of their orbits, and those 2 points are the North and South Node, and they are where eclipses happens. So there is some sort of like deep cosmic level, karmic level even reconfiguration happening with you and your relationship to yourself, and therefore your relationship to the universe or to any higher power that you may believe in. If you were, I don't know if you guys work with any like deities, goddesses, gods, spirits, the cosmos, the universe, source, whatever it is that you like to call it. There's okay, going back to this, an escape from conformity, a willingness to break. No, an escape from conformity, the willingness to exchange roles. So because we've got Son of God, we've got a card that mentions God, and we also have the devil. So I'm feeling like there is some sort of shift happening in the way that I'm getting that this is a shift in the way that you view yourself in terms of being evil versus being good. There's like something coming through to me about contending with the ways in which you have done harm. Maybe this is something that happened recently where you acted in a way that was not coming from a place of humility, that was instead perhaps coming from a place of arrogance, a place that reminded you of old habits that you used to like behave more like, perhaps. Or maybe a place of hubris, maybe a place of short-sightedness, maybe a place of like materialism, maybe a place of excess harshness, of judging people too quickly, of being too quick to cut people off, or too quick to see a fight where there isn't necessarily one. With the Devil card here in this deck, it has the symbols for Mars, Saturn, and Capricorn on it, because the Devil card is normally, the Capricorn card, but the reason that Mars and Saturn are on it is because Saturn rules Capricorn. Capricorn is its earthy home, and Mars exalts in Capricorn. So it's the place where Mars is pushed to like heights of ability or achievement. It is a place where things are stripped away, and Mars is able to achieve more from its slightly curated surroundings. It's a place where Mars is able to be more highly honored in its abilities, and it's a place where Saturn is able to set cold, dry, tangible boundaries and plans. It's interesting that cunning is one of the keywords for this, because I feel like the sort of like westernized white Christian sort of like view is that cunning is kind of like a devilish sort of quality. But because this is Druid Oracle vibes, cunning can be a trait that is culturally considered good. In my own culture, I'm Punjabi, I'm from India. I feel like in our culture, cunning is also not always considered a bad thing. Like, it's not necessarily bad to use cleverness instead of brute force to arrive at a solution or to achieve your goals. Especially if, as this card says, you combine this cutting with good intent and like a sense of like honor and humility and respect for the other people that you're involving in your plans. But maybe this is talking about a situation you had recently where you tried to do this and you didn't quite meet up to your own standards. Maybe you fell back into some old habits about you thought that you could cleverly make this plan work, but you fell back into some old patterns of behavior and maybe you caused some pain to someone, you know? Maybe you hurt someone. Maybe you hurt yourself as well. And maybe this thing that you did has you rethinking your own sort of like connection to the universe or connection to source or to goddess or whomever. Maybe you are in a state where you feel disconnected and you desire reconnection. It also feels like you could have had, yeah, it really does feel like there was like some sort of like sudden upset or revelation recently. You've got lightning in the background, which is of course reminding me of the Tower card, which is the card that comes after the Devil. The Devil is number 15 and the Tower is 16, and it's also a Mars card. So I'm getting the impression that you had a Tower moment recently that happened because you maybe fell back into old reactive patterns of behavior, old familiar traits that you have been working to get away from. And maybe you feel bad that you reacted in this old way because you thought, I've done so much work on myself in order to become more of the like kind of person that I wish to be. I've tried to take these traits that I've used maybe in not so wise ways in the past, and I've been trying to use them in more wise and kind ways in the present. But maybe you had a situation happen where you kind of fell short of the standard of behavior that you want for yourself. And, you know, that can really hurt ourselves inside and hurt our self-concept. I can speak to that. I have done that as recently as this year. You know, like this could easily apply to a situation that I had. And what I can say about this is that when we fall short of our own standards of behavior, humility, because again, humility is a word mentioned in both of these, being humble, owning up to our own humanness is, I think, a vibe that I'm really getting here, especially with like Son of God, God, and the Devil here. I think what you need to realize here is that you're not a saint or a sinner. You're just a person. And people mess up sometimes. The important thing about being human, about trying to be a kind person, about trying to act with good intent, is not to never ever mess up or make a mistake or to never hurt anyone. It is, if you do hurt someone, if you do mess up, are you able to own up to it? Are you able to honestly look at what you did and be like, yeah, I fucked up? And are you able to try to repair the situation to whatever extent is possible? Are you attempting to make amends? Are you attempting to be honest about your behavior, especially if your behavior has impacted other people? Are you able to go to them and be like, hey, I can see that I messed up, and I can see that my actions have hurt you, and I didn't want to do that. Can we do something to fix this? Can I help you repair your trust in me in some way? Don't let your past hold you back. Maybe you are someone that in the past, when you have messed up in this way, it has led you to maybe shame spiral about yourself. And shame spiraling is not, helpful to do because, one, shame is an emotion that means you're taking the thing that you did that was not so great and you are making that a part of your identity. You don't need to identify with your mistakes. You are allowed to make mistakes without them permanently branding who you are as a person. You're allowed to make mistakes and try to figure out a way to make amends for them, to recover from them. As long as you approach it with some humility and some grace, you can take the chains of shame off of your own neck. You do not need to let yourself be defined by the actions you have taken. You also don't need to let yourself be defined by the person that you used to be. You can decide at any moment that you want a new experience. You can have the lightning strike of realization at any moment that you wish to do things in a different way. Again, going back to this description, an escape from conformity, an exchange of roles. Is there a role that you have been setting yourself up in that no longer suits you, that no longer fits you? Don't let the past hold you back. It might be time to try doing something differently. If you have managed conflict in a certain way in the past, if you have always responded to situations with a certain knee-jerk reaction in the past, take some time to think about how you contributed to the situation and perhaps make a different choice. Approach the situation with kindness and humbleness, and you might find that you are able to create a new pattern where you feel more aligned with the universe. Not in the way where you feel like you are so divine and so saintly and so untouchable. And not in the way where you feel like you are such a demon and you are inevitably corrupted and there's nothing that can be done to save you. But to walk the middle path and allow yourself to be a person and to make amends and make repairs the way that all people have the free will to do. Okay. I think that is all the message that I have for y'all today, pile 2. I hope this was helpful. That was a little bit heavier than I was expecting it to be, but it makes sense. This is a Mercury Cazimi reading. Mercury is passing through the underworld. Mercury is the psychopomp, and this is the message that they delivered today. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this, leave me a like, leave me a comment, let me know if it hit for you. Subscribe to my channel if you want more of this, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye! What's up, pile 3? Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Attaquer le Soleil perfume, then this is going to be for you. So we have Attack the Sun, and your oracle card is Earth Dragon from the Druid deck. Okay, so I'm going to read you all the descriptions from both of the perfume guidebook as well as the deck guidebook, and then I will pull you a tarot card and a Moonology oracle card, and then I will start delivering your messages. Okay. Shout out to my past self for writing the scent notes into this guidebook so I don't have to look them up in the future. Love that for me. Okay, attaque le soleil, attaque le soleil. Where are you? There we go. Okay, so this is in the strapping leather section, this scent. Okay. Attaque le soleil. Woody, spicy, leathery. Oh, a tribute to the Marquis de Sade, the father of sadism, the man who wanted to attack the sun and ignite the world. Liberate us from our preconceptions. Break down the barriers which keep us from accepting our own desires. We identify with him because we try to do the same. The pleasure and the pain of labdanum. And the scent note is just one. It's cistus, a flowering plant in the rock rose family. Ooh, okay. So, y'all got the kinky pile because the Marquis de Sade is the person that we get the phrase sadomasochism, like sadism and masochism comes from his name. Or, if you have never heard of any of his writings, I would not recommend going into them unless you are probably 21 plus and have a really high level of maturity and a really high stomach for just the most depraved thing that you can't imagine, you know? It's that kind of vibe. Now, I don't know what this is going to indicate about you, but I don't know. Maybe you're into some taboo things, some things that are not so acceptable for the society that you grew up in, you know? Maybe you are someone who's not afraid to go outside of the norms of what is considered like reasonable or okay culturally. And honestly, a lot of the time, like, people who are like that, they might have a point, you know? I don't know about the Marquis de Sade, but you, pile 3, perhaps there is something that you think about society that society could use as a little hint. Perhaps you are also into that kinky stuff. Who can say? That's for you to know. And who knows, this might come in relevant because I have flipped to Earth Dragon in the guidebook, which oh, I just realized I've been like flipping it upside down each time and oh no. Okay, well, we'll do something about that. Okay, so anyway, Earth Dragon in Celtic is Dreg Talab. Keywords: power, potential, riches. Okay, so we're seeing an interesting vibe here. Dreg Talab brings us face to face with our potential. Within us, we have a treasure house of riches, of powers and capacities which we can learn how to use. In the past, we may have been denied access by the guardian of this treasure, but now we are coming to understand that this sometimes fierce guardian is in reality an aspect of ourselves. By coming to know and love the Earth Dragon, we will be able to unlock the secrets of our heart, and at the same time we will find ourselves discovering the beauty and the power that lie within the hearts of those around us and in the very earth itself. Reversed meaning. Perhaps somehow you are relating to your inner reserves and potential in an inappropriate way. Dreg Talav guards the treasures of your soul fiercely, but he is your ally, not your enemy. Do not try to kill him, and do not try to wrest the treasure from him. You may need to spend time befriending this creature who has slumbered in your soul for so long. A precipitous attempt to capitalize on your talents or express your potential may be unwise. Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull your tarot card and your moonology card, and then we'll see what messages are coming through. Today's tarot deck, I am using the Sigil Arcanum deck, which I got from a Kickstarter campaign. It's a really cool deck that is made up of like, it's made up of like symbols of glyphs of like the planets and the zodiac signs and the elements, and they have like the ones for like each decan of the like minor arcana cards has like, for example, like if it's the Mercury and Virgo decan, then the picture will be made up of the Mercury and Virgo glyphs combined, something like that. And then if it's like the 4 of Wands, then it'll have like 4 of whatever planetary symbols is involved. And so just like, it's a really cool, like very mercurial deck, which is why I chose it for this reading. Okay. We've got the, what is this? We've got the Knight of Swords. No. We've got the Knight of Wands. Sorry, it took me a second to read this because it's like, so it's like the air of fire, because the knights are air and this, the wands are fire. Also, the knights are called J in this to differentiate them from the kings, so it took me a second. Okay, and then we'll get you your moonology card, and then let's figure out what the vibes are here, because this is fun and interesting. Ooh, okay. We have full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. Okay. So. Okay, pile 3. So, immediately I am drawn to the fact that both the description for the perfume and the description for the earth dragon talk about breaking down barriers that keep us from ourselves. The Attaque le Soleil card talks about, a man who wanted to liberate us from our preconceptions, break down the barriers which keep us from accepting our own desires. And then the Earth Dragon card talks about how we have a treasure house of capacities within us, but we might have been denied access by the guardian of this treasure. So, and then we have the full moon in Scorpio card, which is it's time to release negativity. So there's definitely something in here about freeing yourself from barriers by taking action. And I say by taking action because we have the Knight of Wands here. And the Knight of Wands, I believe, if you correspond it to Jung's 4-letter like thing, I believe the Knight of Wands is ESTP, which is extroverted, sensing, thinking, and perceiving. So, there's something internal here, some sort of internal treasure, because this talks about attacking the sun, and then the earth dragon is like hoarding like gold here, and gold is the metal of the sun, right? So there's some sort of vibe here of like attacking your own inner potential. Because, okay, going back to the theme of this reading is what was hidden from you that is being revealed. And it's giving, what's being revealed is this inner potential of yours that maybe you were not able to acknowledge in the past. Maybe you felt like a barrier to being the part of yourself that you want to be, of being the kind of person who can take the kinds of action that you want to take. The Earth Dragon, I can't help but think of the concept of hoarding here, because it feels like there's like, this dragon is like very curled up, and it's like, it's given, you know, like a little side eye in here. And so it really feels like there is something that you have been curled up around and just like holding on to and like defending so tightly. This might be like an old way of thinking, an old belief system, an old way of viewing yourself that maybe you have been clinging to very tightly for too long. Especially with full moon in Scorpio. We just had a full moon in Scorpio very recently on May 1st of 2026, if you're watching this at the time that I released this, even though this is a timeless reading. But this could be like full moon in Scorpios happen in Taurus season. So either this like most recent full moon in Scorpio could be significant, or an upcoming full moon in Scorpio could be significant if like April, May is coming up for you soon. So time to release negativity. So all of these together, it is very much like, it's giving me the vibe of there is some sort of dark, jaded part of yourself. Something that you feel needs to be kept hidden, needs to be kept in the dark, that is wanting to be expressed. And maybe this Mercury Cazimi that's what it's revealing to you, is this desire of yours that you have kept locked away and guarded so tightly in your heart because you felt like it was maybe, oh, okay, maybe you are a person who, okay, because this is like in the strapping leather section, right? And it's a tribute to the Marquis de Sade. So maybe you are a person who is kind of like a tough leather jacket baddie kind of person, is the phrase that's coming to mind. Maybe you are like a leather jacket baddie kind of person. Maybe you're like, you know, you're kind of like someone who is cool and difficult to get close to, and maybe you're a little aloof, and maybe you're a little mysterious, and maybe people want to come near you, and people want to get intimate with you or get vulnerable with you. And maybe you have this desire for intimacy and vulnerability too, because you've got full moon in Scorpio. We all know Scorpio wants to know what's going on under the surface of everything. But the thing is also, Scorpio wants to share what's going on under the surface for them. Scorpio has this hard exterior. It has these pincers. It has this stinger. It has these weapons. But it's also got, all of that armor is hiding a soft underbelly, you know? So maybe you're a leather jacket baddie on the outside, but on the inside, you have some sort of soft desire that you've been keeping so tightly locked away. Maybe you have some sort of soft thing that you want. Maybe you want to be able to be vulnerable with someone. Maybe you want to be able to reveal something of yourself. Maybe the preconceived notion that you want to break down about yourself is the old belief, probably stemming from past experiences, if we're being real. Maybe you've been burned in the past when you tried to open up and be vulnerable with people. And because of that, you don't feel safe doing that. So you lock that soft part of yourself away deep down inside where no one can get to it. And you're the guardian of the threshold. And you, whenever maybe you're hiding your softness in this dark, dark cave, metaphorically, and you attack le soleil, you attack the sunlight whenever it tries to get in. Maybe you have a habit of whenever someone tries to get too close to you, you have a knee-jerk reaction to guard yourself even harder. You have a knee-jerk reaction to defend your treasure, to defend this soft part of yourself. But the energy that I'm getting is what is going to be revealed to you is an opportunity to choose something different. Because the Knight of Wands, knights can be like an offer coming towards you, right? Knights can be about messages because they are the heir of their suit. So you could be receiving communication, or you could have received communication of a nature that asks for some vulnerability from you. And maybe you feel too scared to allow yourself that vulnerability. But the Knight of Wands is like, it's an opportunity. It's not a major arcana card, so this might not feel like necessarily like a huge, super obvious moment, but it is also one of the court cards, one of the face cards in the more common decks, you know? So this is like, it's definitely like a person, another person who you are dealing with in this situation, or maybe like your own, maybe you are the person who wants to send a message, who wants to reach out to someone and offer an opportunity for softness. Yeah, because going back, the Earth Dragon guidebook, it says, by coming to know and love the Earth Dragon, we will be able to unlock the secrets of our heart and at the same time discover the beauty and power that lie within the hearts of those around us and in the very earth itself. Ooh, okay, so yeah, this is giving trust issues. It's giving past wounds, and it's giving the opportunity for those past wounds to be brought up and to be faced and confronted. Ooh, okay. Yeah, it's... Can you take this risk? Can you take this risk of letting someone else see your softness? Because that is the only way you will be able to discover the beauty of other people, and to be able to maybe find someone who matches this softness inside you with softness towards you. But they won't be able to do that if you are all pincers, all claws, all leather, all protection, all armor, you know? And yes, of course, it's vulnerable. It feels scary to open yourself up to communication, but opening yourself up and taking a risk is the only way that you will be able to find someone else who can hold you, perhaps, the way you have been holding yourself back so tightly. The power that is released when you are able to destroy that old barrier can be equivalent to the amount of like depth and intimacy and connection that is available to you if you choose to try openness, if you choose to try and act in a way that you aren't used to, if you choose to try and communicate in a way that you are not used to. The Knight of Wands is like, wands are direct, you know, like the shape of them, it's whoosh. This is giving me the strong vibe that you have an opportunity to open up about something, and it's highly suggested by these cards that letting go of past negativity, maybe negative experiences that you've had with opening up with people that have made you harden up and so carefully and cautiously guard any hint of softness or vulnerability in yourself. Maybe you are receiving an opportunity to break down the barriers that you have built for yourself, to set your heart ablaze a little bit, you know, to allow a spark of hope within you that the beautiful, wonderful internal treasure that you are hiding inside of you could possibly be met equally, softly, tenderly, openly by another person. Okay. Okay, pile 3. I think that's all the message that I have for you today. Wow, that was quite something. I hope that was helpful to you and offered you some clarity. And I wish you good luck in whatever situation this is describing for you, because this is some intense energy. But I think you have the strength and the skill to pull it off and to choose something new. But, you know, it's up to you. I'm just here to tell you what I see, and then you get to decide what to do however you see fit. All right, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Leave me a like if you like this. Leave me a comment and tell me what you thought if you'd like. Subscribe to my channel if you want more of these. Share it with a friend if you really liked it and you think they might like something like this. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Bye!